Well, I'm a very interdisciplinary scientist. My background has been sort of broad. I have degrees in geology, in ecology and evolutionary biology, and in physical anthropology. The advanced degrees. My undergrad is in geology. Since coming to UC, I have actively tried to expand my interests. So, I have this background of working on fossil horses and thinking a lot about Madagascar. And I really care about Madagascar still, but I answered a lot of the questions that I wanted to answer there already. I'm not sure when I decided I really liked Madagascar. I think it was when I was little, but I decided I was ready to tackle Madagascar and really think about conservation on the island and the recent history of the island. And so for my PhD work, I thought about the recent lemurs that have lived on the island that have gone extinct and wondered about their ecology and used stable isotopes to think about ecological change on the island over the last few thousand years. And that work culminated in several different projects. I'm still working in Madagascar now, but that was sort of the big focus of my dissertation research, was the recent ecology of Madagascar. The projects that I'm currently working on are, I'm starting projects here in North America. We're doing a lot of work with sort of the extinct megafauna of the United States, and that includes some work on mammoths and mastodons, extinct bison populations. Also starting some projects in India, and I'm working in Trinidad. So those are pretty big, different places than Madagascar. I am a Quaternary paleoecologist, so all of my research is explicitly in the Quaternary and the Anthropocene. And I'm really interested in human impacts and how humans interact with natural ecosystems. And so, by definition, humans are only around in the Quaternary and the Anthropocene. I'm explicitly interested in India. We're going to be thinking about more recent human impacts. So what are the effects of industrialization and sort of increasing transportation across the Himalaya on the natural ecosystem and on the people who live there. In Trinidad, I'm interested in thinking about ecological change in the mammal community, sort of like Madagascar, but it's a pretty different place. So it's very close to the mainland, so there can be a lot of movement of animals from Venezuela over to Trinidad, and if there's local extinctions, you might get repopulation, unlike in Madagascar. Thinking about human settlement on that island. There's other Caribbean islands I'm working on as well, by the way. But thinking about human settlements, extinctions, and then ecological change in response of the animals that are now there. I will say that I'm excited to be here at UC, and so far it's been really productive for me. I felt like I'm really excited about these new research directions that I'm working on now, and there's a lot going on, but I think this is a really great place to be for answering some of these interdisciplinary questions and thinking about broad pictures of ecological change in the recent past, and being able to work with other folks who are, hard geologists or geographers or geneticists. It's really, it's awesome. And obviously students are great too. I guess I would consider probably the beginning of the Anthropocene around the time that we had the beginning of the Holocene. So we're having domestication of animals, large-scale changes in vegetation for the beginning of agriculture. I guess that's probably where I would define the Anthropocene. But there's definitely stages, right? There's this phase of post-industrialization that's pretty major. But to say that there was nothing before that, I think there's also clearly a change with that agricultural, the dawn of agriculture. And even before that maybe, but for me I'd say about 10,000.